Mark, obviously you weren't too happy with last week's performance. How can you make sure that that is a blip? Because blips are bound to happen. You just want as few as possible.
We've just got to be positive. We've got to make sure that we do everything right to make sure that our performances improve from the last two. You know, it's not been what we've set out to do, but on the whole, the boys have been really good this season and have responded, and we've just got to get back to working hard and back to being bright and being as lively as we possibly can be, and back to our normal selves. And I have no doubt that the boys will do that, and it's not a problem.
And I suppose the one thing that's a little bit more different now is that you've got a bit more competition for places in the squad, which hopefully would mean that there's fewer of those type of games.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we don't threaten the boys or anything like that. We've got a really good spirit there. They know that there's a group, and anyone can play within that group at the moment. And if we make changes, then it'll be for the benefit of the team. If we think it's right to change it around a little bit personnel-wise, then we'll do so. We've got a really tough game at Port Vale, but I think we've got to concentrate on ourselves and make sure that we get back to doing what we do best and improving our performances. And when we do that, then we'll start picking up points and moving in the right direction again.
Winter's back. How's that impacting on your training?
It's not affected us this week. We trained Monday really well. The first team trained Tuesday morning with myself. The reserves had a game at Coventry, the boys who hadn't been playing, on Saturday. And as you see, we were off Wednesday. We're back in today, and we don't know what to do yet. Hopefully this will burn off within the hour. It's a bit cold at the moment, whether it happens or not. You know, we've got a contingency plan if we need to. We'll have to go indoors, but that's not really what we want to do. We want to get out there on the grass and just carry on the preparation for Saturday. But if you can't. You've got to just do something different.
Port Vale, a really big test for you as well.
Yeah, of course it's. But every game is. Accrington at home's a really big test for us. Lincoln at home next week's a really big test for us. Oxford away. Every game's the same. There's not one team you can take any lighter than the other, and if you do, you inevitably get beat. So you know we won't be. Good game for us to go and perform. Nice big pitch, big strong team to play against, as you say, who are doing well in this division. They'll be trying to impress their new manager, but you know my group will be trying to get back to performing how we know we can.
Is there a pressure to climb back up the table as well?
Nope, no pressure. I think the first point of call has got to be just improving our performances. With performances, will come results, and with results you'll climb back up the table. You know the league's really tight. You know we said a few weeks ago, if you don't win for a couple of weeks or you win a couple of games on the spin, you know your position can change. So we're not kidding ourselves. We haven't been kidding ourselves all season, but more than anything else, we've just got to put in the performances that we know we can, that we've shown we can, and if we do that, then everything else will take care of itself. We've just got to take one game at a time, and just be better than we were last Saturday.
One bright spot from last week, Wes Thomas, one chance, one goal. How important is it that he keeps his performances up while there's all the speculation about him? Because the better he performs, the better, I suppose, for everyone concerned.
Well, the better he performs, the more chance we have of winning football matches. That's all I'm interested. Yeah, he took his goal really well. He'll be, you know, we had a chat with him on Monday, and he'll be the first to admit that he didn't, along with the majority of them, didn't do as well as they could have done on Saturday and what they wanted to. So it's about going and putting that right. Yeah, he scored a good goal. That's what we've got him here for.
Any movement or any steps forward in the hunt for a winger?
No, not at the moment. Just waiting and seeing what's out there. You know, we got a knockback last week. Something might still happen later in the window, but nothing at the moment. We're still exploring other avenues, games, and looking at players. But as we speak, you know, we've got what we've got, and we took a really strong side to Coventry the other day, and that just shows the strength of the squad we've now got. And we're able to go there and compete against the team. You know, we've got some decent players playing for them. There's no need to panic. There's no need to, bring things in just to rush it. We're trying to make sure that we get the right ones, and we'll continue to work hard to make sure we do.
Injuries? How's your squad looking?
Just Martin Riley. He won't be available at the weekend, obviously, but I've spoken to Wes this morning. I think he'll be somewhere back around the training pitch on Monday, Tuesday next week, which will be good for us. Andy Gallen we're still looking after Gallers in terms of he's got a niggle that we're just protecting him, and he's available for a couple of days in the week and match days at the moment, and we'll see where that takes us when Martin's fit.
I mean, how useful is it then to have Ashley Eastham in? Because obviously you don't
massive.
want Gallows turning into like a Paul McGrath.
No, that's far from the case. Gallows played 17 games on the spin for us and was brilliant for us. We want him back as quickly as we can. He's also showed what a great team man he is. He's not quite right, but he's doing everything he can to be available for games, and we're just looking after him at the moment. So it's people have got to take a leaf out of his book. He's a massive team player for us. He puts the team ahead of anybody else, and that's the type we need.
Great stuff. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Mark, you mentioned the pitch at Port Vale, known for being big. Do you think that could suit your game? Is that something you're looking forward to getting out and playing on?
I'll tell you Saturday at 5 o'clock. Hopefully, it's a decent surface, a big area, big playing area. It looks bigger because of the distances from the stands and stuff like that. But it's a decent area, and I know we'll be looking forward to going there and trying to play the way we can.
Yeah, this might be the sort of pitch that could suit someone like Josh Lowe, who sort of gobbles up space, doesn't he? And he's back. Is he back in your thoughts now?
Of course he is. Yeah, everyone is. I think I know where I'm going, and I do know where I'm going in terms of what I want to do Saturday. We'll see what we can do today when this hopefully clears and comes out the ground, and we'll work again tomorrow. Just getting back to being as good as we can be, and back to both working hard and making better decisions than we made last week. I can't knock the players for their effort, their work rate, but it was just too many wrong decisions, and whether it's time to just liven one or two up and just, I've got good options on the bench. I've got Sean Jeffers scored a good goal for the reserves the other day and did well in the game. Phil Walsh, who we've brought in, is desperate to play, and again contributed well on Tuesday and showed us what he could do, and did the same when he came on against Accrington on Saturday. I've got midfield players desperate to get in. I've got Frankie, Birdie, Theo, Marley, Josh Lowe, and that's, like I said, that's not doing anything other than just showing what a decent squad we've got.
Yeah.
And whatever I do will be hopefully the right thing. If it needs freshening up, if I think it needs freshening up, I'll do so. Like I say, we'll work on one or two things in training today and tomorrow, and then I'll make my decision and pick a team to try and go and first and foremost perform to the highest standard we can possibly do. We've set some good standards this season and just come slightly off it the last couple of games, and we just need to get back to that.
Duane Courtney is a player you know well from at least two other clubs you work with him. He's looking for a move away. Is that a possibility at the moment?
We'll see. He's a great lad. I've had him, as you say, I've known him for a number of years. He played really well in the game the other day, that you were there. He's competitive, he's got a good leap, he's strong, he's quick. He's got a bit of everything. He's certainly something that's going round in my head. He's got to sort himself out at York. How it came about with Duane. I've had him before as a player, and he called me last week and asked me if I could. Well, he called me a few weeks ago and asked me if I could put his name about at clubs and try and get him another club because things weren't working out for him at York. I think that's still the case. I think he's still trying to get himself sorted out up there. But he's a good lad, and I like him as a person, and I was trying to help him out. He helped us out, in fact, because it made us even stronger. We've been to reserve games in the past where we went to Birmingham, and we're playing a few trialists and a few of the young boys, and they're playing against top players, and that's probably that's definitely the strongest reserve time side we've sent out for a good few years at this football club, and I think that bodes well. But going back to Duane, he helped me out and helped him out. You know, he needed a game. He's not played for York for a little while. He spoke to his manager, Gary Mills, up there, who was very kind to let him play, and he did well. But we'll see on that one. You know, I haven't got pots of money. It's not a position I was particularly looking to strengthen. But I've seen you've said that he'll come for free, so you never know. That won't be the case. But if I've chucked it around with the staff, and we'll talk about it again after training.
Yep.
I spoke to Duane yesterday, and he was on his way back up to York, just to thank him for turning out and doing so well. And we'll see. We'll literally see. He might be a good body to have around the place, but it might not happen as well. You know, we'll just see on that one.
Yeah, one thing that struck me is how much he enjoyed playing for you before. And
he's a really good type. He's a good lad. You know, we took him up to Burnley when he was at Telford. He was at Telford with Neil. Wolves were interested in taking him. We needed some defensive cover. We took him up to Burnley on a bit of a flyer. He'd been up for a few days, and we'd seen a bit of potential in him. It was probably a little bit higher than he perhaps, and harder than he anticipated, but he was great around the place. He trained really hard and gave his all the time. I then later took him back to Kidderminster, and he did ever so well for me, and he just moved on, and he's still a good player. Like I say, if nothing happens here, then I'm sure I can recommend him to a few people, because I think he just showed what a decent player he is.
Yeah. When you haven't got massive amounts of money to spend, having players who want to play for you is one of the keys.
Yeah,
What's the key for that? Because you seem to have a good record of that. Players who've played for you before are always quite keen to come back and play for you again.
I think you got to treat them properly. You know, I'm not too pally with them or anything like that, but you treat them as adults and treat them fairly as you can. You know, it's not. Don't get me wrong. If you speak to players who aren't in the team, I'm not always going to be their flavour of the month, and quite rightly so. You know, but as long as they respect what we're trying to do, respect the group, respect the squad, and then when they're needed, when they're called upon, prove me wrong. I love players proving me wrong, if you like. You know, because if I can only pick 11, I've got a decent squad here, which, you know, we are trying to keep improving, trying to keep working hard and keep focused. I can only pick 11. The ones who aren't in the team, yes, they can get frustrated, but when they get their chance back, they've got to take it. And I think I'm firm but fair. You know, I pick teams to win games. I don't pick teams because I like one player more than the other. And I think if you're honest with them and tell them what you want and tell them how they make that happen, and then I think I give people plenty of credit here, you know, and plenty of praise. Don't get me wrong, I'll let them know if they're not doing it, but you know, we're a management that likes to be positive, and I think that can have a good effect on your players.
Yeah, one more before my hands fall off.
Yeah, good.
You haven't got any rush to make decisions over the youth team players at the moment, because obviously most of the scholars are contracted at the end of the season, but there's one lad who's not contracted to the club, Ethan Moore. Does that mean you might have to make a decision on him earlier?
We'll see. He's not fit at the moment. He wasn't able to play in that game the other day, so like I said, it's not something I'm interested in talking in at the moment. We'll make the decisions that are right for us and right for the young players.
Yep. Cheers, Mark.